hey, guess what? Item box is not dead. Just life gets in the way and all that. Then you kind of put it off, procrastinate. A game comes out you really want to play. You know, that
And then
kind of
wait for
thing.
the page to come out on the web.
Yeah, but considering Sonic Forces, the reception is wow. I mean, Generations had like mostly positive.
Yeah, with generations.
Lost World was mixed,
Hmm.
and this current edition is Lost World like still mixed, but it's very aggressively mixed.
Hmm.
Like my opinion, I'll probably reiterate this in a review. It's just, eh. I mean, yeah, I expressed I really wanted to play it because the gameplay looked fun,
Hmm.
but my expectations weren't set so fucking high. Like
No, I
Echo
mean
Engine
that's
2, Modern Sonic, Classic Sonic, Avatar, the Wispons, the story, the graphics. Oh, it's be the best Sonic game ever. And comes out, it's like,
well,
doesn't
we've been
look.
through this circle anyway, so
We've been through this bullshit circle, the Sonic cycle,
yeah,
and
no
everything.
business.
But even then, like, it doesn't really. The bullshit Sonic cycle doesn't even apply to this. Okay, it
Yeah.
doesn't. Because even when the Avatar came out, like your expectations should have just dropped to a point where I'll give it a shot, but I'm not really getting my hopes up.
Hmm.
And my hopes weren't up. I was expecting. My expectations were it's going to be average. I'll have fun, but I'm not expecting to light the world on fire. It's not going to be Generations 2. It's not going to be. It's not going to be better than Mania because
Well, even then, that was the expectation.
we all knew that.
Yeah, well, even then, that was kind of the attitude people going in. Is just generations 3 years later type deal. But even then,
Generations 6 years later, actually,
oh god, it's not been that long, has it?
it's been that long, and believe me, Classic Sonic is still better in Generations.
Hmm.
And that's kind of the thing as well about the opinions is it's so diverse that it's not just the point of is it a good game or a bad game in your opinion, and don't try and push your opinion as fact. Okay, I fucking hate that. We've been over this
No,
so many
no, I
times.
mean I'll get into that in a minute as
Yeah.
well.
But to me, Classic Sonic is the worst fucking part of the game. I cannot stand playing as Classic Sonic. So, but I've read people saying, "Oh, I think it's the best part of the game." Like you have, if it feels really good, it's like it's just like Generations, which I would say a response is no, it isn't because Generations plays better. But that's just me disagreeing with your opinion and expressing my opinion as a debate, not me stating fact. Like if you
No,
like,
I mean this is
if you like it, you like it. I'm not going to try to change your minds, but I'm just expressing my views on it.
yeah. Well, like I said, I think that was the thing I was the most worried about. Was it wasn't the case of whether it would be a good game or not. I mean, at the end, at least it works. I mean, I was
It's a
talking to
competent game. Right now it's sold more than Mania.
oh god,
Yeah,
all right, that is surprising to
it
me.
surprised me as well.
Yeah.
But that I lost my train of thought. You was going to say something.
Well, yeah. One of the things I wanted to say is, as you said, people's opinions have changed about. In fact, some of the friends I've been talking to, every one of them all seem to have different, attitudes to it. I mean, the only thing they have in common is they've all sort of admitted that the game is either a disappointment, but it's not like this is the worst thing ever or this is the death nail of the series and all that bullshit again. Because that's what gaming culture loves to just talk about with some hedge, just saying how the mighty have fallen, which
Is
again.
a big crock of shit.
Which again, I could talk. Which I'll bring up another point actually in a minute. But again, all of them seem to have different opinions. Like one of them has played them, and he's got on the Switch, and he has enjoyed it. But again, one of the things they've all had, sorry, one of the things they've all have in common is basically what's in the game is good, but it's the direction they went is still scratching their heads. For instance, one of them is saying that they thought they like the aesthetic of the game or some of the aspect, but either the avatar gameplay is a bit mixed or the level design's a bit odd. One of them says there's only like 3 hours of gameplay as most of it's automated. And then one of them, who actually is in the game industry, is properly said this, I cannot believe they made this, how could they, this is terrible, they should never be allowed to ever make a game like this again, this is so horrific.
Really?
But like I said, and like I said, as you said, it's like they're all different opinions. And first of all, none of them are wrong. I mean, first of all, I haven't got to play the finished game. I only played the demo of it, but none of them are wrong. if they don't like the game, if they like it, if there's something they don't like and they want to voice their opinion, that's fair enough. I got nothing against
Yeah,
that.
I agree that the design, especially on the modern Sonic and Avatar stages, there is a lot of cinematic set pieces that take control away from you.
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
it wants to, like it really wants to be like God of War or something.
Yeah, and
Of
again,
it, but I wouldn't say it's the worst thing they've done. Like the Avatar gameplay actually works. It's not so. It's like the Werehog again. It's like it's different, yeah, but it's not broken.
hmm,
And I actually prefer the Avatar gameplay over the modern Sonic gameplay because
okay.
it's very varied, and the Wisp Bombs is a nice addition.
Hmm. It's funny because again, one of my friends said, the avatar system is okay, although his argument has been like, well, wouldn't it have been better if you just had the regular characters in? Because again, they only have like a guest role in this game, and it is weird that we're still, like you said, it's been what 6 years since Generation, and then how many years since Unleashed?
Uh 9.
Like, I mean, like you said, it's been over 9 years now, and really, most of the cast members haven't even been used whatsoever. I mean, the only Boom is the only one they've actually bothered with, and even then, people are just like, "Oh, I hate it because the gameplay is terrible, not because the characters are dreadful or anything." I mean, that's a totally different argument. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's weird that we've gone this far now, and they just really push them aside. It's like they're still there, they still exist, but you're not allowed to control them or use their abilities or anything,
that's why
which.
when sometimes when I replay Sonic stages, I'm playing as Shadow because
Hmm,
it's a fun addition. Like, yeah, there is no difference between Sonic or Shadow, but it's the novelty of it.
exactly.
Sorry. Um,
Sorry.
Going so long without being able to include these other characters, it annoys me the hell out of me as well. Like, can't we play as Tails? Can't we play as Amy? Or even
Hmm.
Silver? Like, can you, Sega, if you're listening to this, can you please make an episode Silver? Like, even though we have a comic tie-in, I would like to see him actually involved.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the weird thing. I mean, really, by all means, this character should have nothing to do in the series because if we're going by your sixth thing, he should not exist. But if you're going to keep him there, can we at least utilize the fact he has psychic abilities? Because there's
Yeah,
still some
he
fun
has
aspects.
psychokinesis. You can actually have him have the air. Like I said in the stream, I said in my stream, if you can actually have him have the air dash because the double jump is kind of annoying.
Hmm.
Like in Generations and Sonic 4, have him be able to boost but maybe not as fast, and then have the psychokinesis where we can actually with the triggers to actually pick up enemies and throw them, but not use them
Hmm.
as like physics objects. It just destroys them.
Yeah.
Like that's great. Just incorporate that.
Hmm. And
No. So we can't do that. Why not? Because not many people like it. Believe me, there is a large support for Silver the Hedgehog to have his own game.
yeah, but even then, it's kind of. I mean, the argument you could say about this game is like, well, the Avatar says it's only there because they know there's a huge base that want to make their own Sonic characters. And in a case, yeah, they admit it, saying we know there's a huge audience, and
And
I guess part of
I
it.
have ranted for 2 streams on why I fucking hate the customization of that. I mean,
Yeah, I
being able
know.
to customize your own avatar, great. Um, Telling us that the body has one place and it incorporates skirts and t-shirts and necklaces and
It's a layering
backpacks.
factor, though.
It's like,
Yeah.
why can't you have accessories on this? Why can't you have a t-shirt and Vector's gold necklace? Why can't I have that? No,
Hmm.
fair enough.
Well, it's funny when you mention because again, before we do this recording, actually, we talked about it before, and one of the things this reminds me a lot is actually of Worms Falls customization because it has the same basic getup as when you have a customization and basically goes from headwear, eyes, mouthpiece, and then gloves. I mean, that's essentially what you have. But again, one of the things in that game I remember is particularly with the headwear and eyes is that you can actually do alterations. Like you can have the hat either if it's a cap, for instance, frontwards, backwards, tilted on top of like just hovering over the head. You had like those little options in there. Same with the glasses, and I'm surprised in this game, they haven't done that. Or at least I'm not sure if they have done that.
Hmm.
Like I said, this is a game from back like 2005, and here we are now, 2017, and so it is kind of weird that. For a system, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out saying the reason it took 3 years to make was just probably getting the engine running on new
Yeah, it's
systems.
been reported that majority of development was on the Hedgehog engine 2, and the game was it's rumored to be made within a year, and that a lot of the concepts were dropped.
Hmm. Because again, I bet the other thing was just making the avatar system. Because one of the things you can do in the in-game cinematics, it does show the character you've made in the cinematics. So I bet a lot of it was like, well, how is it going to render all these variations of different body parts into the game? So I wouldn't be surprised if that was another issue as well.
I still would have liked more body types than just slim male and slim female.
Yeah, and again, I think that's part of the problem again because when you think of customization in games now, it's way beyond just change your name, your voice pack. It's now like they want to do everything. Eye color, hair, whatever. How much do you want it? How less do you want it? How big you want the character to be or not? So it is, like you said, there's a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I'm also going back to Saints Row 3 and 4. We can have an overweight, green-skinned president who communicates in gravels.
Yeah, although I do remember, I think the director of the game did talk about this, and someone did ask, have you seen some of the artwork? Have you seen some of the fan art from Sonic? And it says, I haven't, though. Yukaza has, so for all, maybe he saw the horrors that are out there on the internet. So there's some good stuff out there, but we know there's a lot of really, oh, please God, no, stuff.
Yeah, you spend like 5 minutes on DeviantArt and look up Sonic original characters, and it's some of them actually really are good. Some of them really are well designed. It's just almost basically, I'm Sinus, I'm Sonic's half brother, me on the space car.
Yeah, half brother, twin sister, cousin roommate.
That's not bullshit. Hey, you can't just turn yourself purple and call yourself Sonic's brother, and B, it's a really shitty backstory.
Yeah, well then again they tried it in Underground, but that's another story.
Yeah, well that was the very first Sonic's brother.
I know, I think that's where it all started from, probably. So you got that show to thank in a way. But even then, it's like, if it's been true that they probably I bet part of the reason why the game as it is because they didn't want to take risk in terms of we're building this engine to work a new system. So instead of developing a new game system, let's just stick what we have. In fact, one of them did say it feels a lot like the game it's trying to do the boost formula, but it's using the Lost World physics to make it work.
Yeah. You really feel that with modern and classic Sonic. It does not feel like Generations at all.
Yeah, I mean, again, even when I was playing it, like the targeting system, for instance, when you do the homing attack, it's the same one from Lost World. It even has the same basic sound effect in. So I wouldn't be surprised. I know they advertise it saying it's from the team behind Generation and Colors, but I bet a lot of them probably went from Lost World worked into this anyway.
Yeah, it says a lot of people have brought up the fact that it's not the same level designers. It's like only 3 level designers, and it's like, oh, the same team brought you Colors and Generations. Like, no, it's not. It really isn't. Maybe 2/3 of the teams were there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great you have Naruto Oshima there, actually promoting it and all that, but at the same time, it's just no.
And like I said, I think one of the things I've said before is like, really, I think there was a lot more of Lost World they could have really expanded upon into something like Forces, but instead, like you said, they've just gone back to what Unleashed, Colors, and Generation have done.
Yeah, but again, it doesn't really feel right. It feels like Sonic 4.
I know. That's not a good sign for some people.
No, but at least Sonic 4 had a homing attack and was competent enough to actually let you run uphill.
Yeah, I mean, oh god, physics. Oh god, physics.
It's like, Isaac Newton, bro, don't bring up that shit again, okay? Don't bring up that shit. The fucking Sonic characters can breathe in space.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're not gonna question that shit, why bother? I'm more surprised that people question that, how does a character like this can roll down hills in a strange way, yet don't argue about the fact the life system was totally fucked in Colors, which I'm still not letting that fucking go.
Which was also fucked in Lost World until people.
Yeah, but at least they patched the damn thing.
And the life system in Sonic Forces is non-existent. So hooray!
Well, that's the thing. I know that they've actually changed it. There's a normal mode and hard mode. So apparently, if you play hard mode, it's back to 100 rings, extra life.
And there's no life systems in this.
I know, but it's like 2 modes. That's the thing that made it big.
No, the difference in the difficulty modes is easy mode. Capture rings at 100, but when you get hit, it only takes up 1/3 of the rings. Whereas hard mode, that you have as many rings as you want, but if you get hit, you lose all of them. Basically, you have easy then original.
Right.
And there's no life on both the difficulties. There is no life systems. There is no extra lives. Basically, you die. It says try again, and you go.
Right. So it's not like you die 3 times and that's it, start over again.
It's like Rayman Origins or Legends.
All right. Well, at least that's a better option. I'd rather take that than just
Yeah.
you've only got 3 lives, no way getting more. Up yours, try again.
Pretty much. So it'll
Yeah,
take
so-
that checkpoint, but the difference is the timer keeps going. So if you get 30 seconds into a level, past a checkpoint, and about maybe up to 45 seconds you die, you come back to the checkpoint, it still says 45 seconds, and it keeps going. And that
Right.
affects your score.
Mm.
So instead of actually trying to make the life system like, here's a bunch of lives, because I think they knew like the people are going to die a lot on this because of the Avatar gameplay or about various death pits.
Mm.
It's not difficult. It's just some of it's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, let's get rid of the life system. I even actually tried out a bit of Mario Odyssey yesterday.
Yeah.
They don't have a life system either.
No, they don't either.
No,
I mean, that's
if
the big
you
thing
die,
with that game.
It takes a bit of your money away.
Mm.
And like, congratulations, Sega and Nintendo, you actually managed to come to the 21st century and realize that that lives and platformers is an archaic system that no longer applies.
Matters, yeah.
Like, what is it? I think only Crash Bandicoot is the only platformer that still has it recently.
Yeah, but again, that's a redo of the first 3. I mean, if they were to try and do a modern version of that, they would have totally ditched that.
Like, I even been replaying Mad World from United Replay, and that has a live system, and that's just bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think I was talking to Mizzy, my other friend, and I think one of the things she brought up is, again, you have to remember that, of course, these games are made in Japan. I mean, I know, and again, obviously, the Sonic team over there are different from, say, the Menu crew, because obviously the Menu crew is, A, smaller group of people, and B, a lot of it was more flexible. I think, we know a lot of stories like they wanted more original levels, but they were asked to bring in more classic stuff remixed. But again, they were able to do that because they're working in a 2D game. In a 3D game, I kind of said this before, it's like you sort of have to go for a bunch of yes men's. It's like you get a group of 10 people and 8 of them say yes and 2 of them say no. And then that's the biggest problem. You're constantly having to go through that argument of, can we do this? Yes. Can we do this? No. So undoubtedly, I bet a lot of the stuff, as you said, if there was more stuff they wanted to do in the game, but then it was the case of, no, we don't want to take a risk. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a bunch of men saying yes and no because they don't want to take the risk of it being a flop.
Well, at least they're more considerate than EA is.
Yeah, we'll get onto that soon. But again, one of the things that I really want to bring up is, like, one thing I'm really scared about is, as I said, if you have a complaint about Forces or there's something you didn't like, Phil, we're not going to argue, all right? First of all, I mean, I haven't played the game, Dan has, so he has his own issues. But either way, we've got nothing against you criticizing it. That's fair enough. Everybody's entitled to speak.
Don't try.
But don't use it. Yeah, but the thing is that the thing I was more worried about is I don't want this to be just the other game that we're going to use as an excuse to saying, here's why the series is shit. Sonic used to be good, but then 06, Lyric, Forces, yeah, these are the big fuck-ups. And it's like over and over again. It's like, if you like these games, well, you're just a weirdo. It's like, oh, come on, can we not have this nonsense? I mean, Mania, Mania's biggest thing was basically people saying, oh, wait, there's a good Sonic game. Isn't that unique? So can we just not go with another 5 years of this bullshit, please? That's the thing I'm most annoyed about. And the other thing also,
if we're talking about, if you really don't like the game, first explain why, not to say, oh, this fucking sucks.
Exactly. I mean, this is
don't be toxic about it. Actually, give us an actual reason. Don't say just because or because I say so. It's like no. Tell us why. Show us why. Explain. Okay, you have words.
Yeah, and this is one of the things I was talking with my friend Missy about, is when it comes to criticism of these games, a lot of the problem is it's just the only people that get heard are the people who shout the loudest and the angriest. It's never constructive criticism. It's like, when you think about it, this aspect's good, but the level design doesn't work for this and blah, blah, rather than just, your game's stupid, I hate you. It's like, if they're going to get that, no wonder why Sonic Team are afraid to do new stuff. They're just constantly having to go the fact that if we do it, they'll hate it. Again, I have no idea how they really work, and like I said, any problems they had, again, they should be accountable for. I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but it's still that constant angry, up yours, I hate you attitude. To me, is I think one of the problems talking about something on the internet because it's just full-on rage-inducing.
If it's not
It's
about
never
people
just
who used to like Sonic, it's people who just don't like Sonic in general, or people who actually do like Sonic, but you only like certain aspects of Sonic and would rather have it
yeah.
be
And again,
all
like I said,
that
it's
and what they
okay.
think is a good game, rather than what everyone else that thinks is a good game and incorporate it into an actual en masse. It's like, again, Sonic
Yeah,
Forces is not a perfect game. I expressed that in a tweet. I expressed that in several episodes of Item Box talking about Sonic Forces. I say,
yeah. I kept saying over and over
explicitly,
again, this is
Sonic Forces is not. It's going to be good. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be the next coming of Jesus or Sonic Jesus Christ Superstar or whatever. It's just going to be an average Sonic game. So don't get your hopes up, okay? And what did people
yeah.
do? They
But
got
like I
their
said,
fucking hopes up.
I think part of it. But then again, I think the biggest problem, of course, is that Sonic the Hedgehog is a gaming icon, and one of the worst things to do is if you're an idol to someone, the moment you do something that isn't to that standard or feel like you did a disservice, you're going to get such a flacking from people, and that's one of the things people love to do. That's one of the big problems for years. Of Sonic is people do respect it, and it's done a lot. It's just obviously when it does these slip ups, it's considered to be an absolute laughing joke. And even when you compare it to Mario, I know most people are saying, well, Odyssey did it better. It's like, well, think about it. It's been over a decade now since Galaxy came out. What exactly has been Mario been doing in their games, apart from just redoing Mario Bros. 3 over and over again? So there's no excuse for that, other than maybe just it took them this long to try and figure out where the hell do we go? We've been into space. What's next?
Oh, just do two
And
more new
also,
Mario games. Two
exactly. So
pseudo side scroll free platform games.
Yeah, so, and again, I used to make the compliment, it's like doing a stage show. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog always tried to do new things, and yeah, it has slips up, and you hear it in the newspaper saying, oh, how funny, they were doing a thing, and then some actor fell on his face, or blah, 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 and all that stuff. But it's like, you still get talk about it. With Mario, it's just the same old gig. It's just the same old show over and over again, no variations, no difference. And then when it does do a big new thing, obviously we treat, it's surprising how well they do it. But I really want to end on this argument, really, in a slightly different. I remember, as you said, the thing about with hyping gaming is that they try to treat it as like the second coming of gaming Christ or something like that. Maybe that's a term nobody's brought up.
I just did about 2 minutes ago.
I know, Jesus Christ Superstar. But for me, I want to compare this to, say, something like Destiny, all right? Now, in comparison, obviously people say people are way more interested in that than Sonic these days. But here's the thing. I remember when Destiny 1 first came out, and I particularly remember the build-up to it. I went to game once, and I saw all the paraphernalia, all the quotes saying, best game at E3, blah, blah, this, the makers of Halo, blah, 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 blah. And there was a lady from game, and she asked me if I was interested. I said no, but I chatted to her anyway. And we just generally talked about it and how it was. But I asked her, basically saying, what if it fails? And to me, what she replied back was, I don't think so. It's done an open beta, it's gone really well, and it's got like £500 million behind it in advertisement and stuff. But I did say to them, it's like, yeah, but it could still slip up. You can have all this praise, all this hype mongering, but if your game's no good, they're going to find out, and boy, they're going to turn on you. And I was surprised actually how many people hated Destiny. A lot of people really felt like it was a letdown. And what's remarkable, because when you think about it, Destiny wants to be the next big thing. It wants to be this grandiose, this universe-building, multiplayer, massive gaming of the 21st century. And the reality, in some ways, it's really just an off-branded Halo game. I mean, the fact it's made by the guys who made Halo, but half of them either disappeared and there's lots of cuts and stuff. That, to me, is a bigger disappointment than, say, something like a Sonic game, because again, it's tried so hard to be this grandiose, epic gaming. In the end, it's just kind of an okay playable game.
Yeah,
like I said, if people enjoy it,
played
fair
it for
enough.
a bit, and even then, you can download the demo. I downloaded the demo. It turns out, that was actually the game. But if you want to get the whole experience, you need to either buy the game itself and actually get a code to unlock the rest.
Exactly. And like I said, I met some people who have played it. In fact, one person I remember talking to is, again, in game, talked about, like, he played it, and yeah, he admitted there was some faults of it, but he enjoyed it, and ironically said, oh, the community for the game is really nice, which, well, that's the look a bit of our community, which is like vultures at times, so good for him. But still, I find it more ironic that something like Destiny, which goes out its way to claim it's going to be this big Maciosos game, in reality, it really isn't. It's just, as I said, it's an off-branded Halo game, and at the end of the day, what is worse? I find that more of I find that more a slap in the face in terms of a game because it promises to be this grandiose thing, and in reality, it's just a pretty but okay game. Commander Forces, yeah, they make the hype obviously that it's going to be a big grandioso game, and yeah, there's a lot of things that don't work. But at the same time, I think people's attitude is like, well, everybody is the way people see something these days is very different. It's no longer seen as this, defining of gaming culture. It's part of gaming culture
It's
still.
still
It's
the
still
third most
relevant to a lot of
recognizable gaming icon of all time.
Exactly, yeah. There's still a lot of people who like it, but again, it doesn't have the same impact as it did, say, the mid '90s or during the Dreamcast era, whatever you want, all that nonsense. In the same way, like Halo isn't anymore. I mean, hell, they've only got up to 5 games, and it's been over 10 years.
Well,
That
five
series,
main
that
titles,
thing's
not including
really.
spin-offs and Reach and all that.
Well, that's what I mean. You got spin-offs or whatever, and it's only been like what 10 or 15 years of that series. Even then, people are saying like, this is done. There's nowhere else to go with this gaming series now.
Yeah, what did you actually say? It's like sexless?
Yes, it's sexless, and even with Destiny's case, is basically it's way more interesting to look at a piece of texture in Destiny than actually play Destiny, which is go over here and shoot a bunch of lads.
Okay, what next? I'll do it again.
do it more.
Yeah, I think we've gone on long
And
enough on this. We're getting derailed.
yeah.
End of the day, it's just Sonic Forces is an incredibly average game, and no matter who you talk to about it, it's going to be a different opinion. Good, bad, or even the
Exactly.
good or bad parts of the actual mechanics, the design, maybe the story. Maybe some people still hate the voice actors. Who knows?
Yeah. But like I said, I think at the end of the day, all that matters, as I said before, is like if you're not having fun with the game, then there's a problem with it, and that's really what counts.
Yeah,
at the
even
end.
then, it's like it's not an inherently broken game unless you're playing the PC version, which has bugs and it has the Nuva on it as well. The PC version is the worst fucking version of the game. Even with the Switch's capped rate of 30 frames per second. Because if it's not for you, it's not for you. If you still prefer Generations, if you still prefer Sonic 06, have fun, okay?
Yeah.
Just don't try and boast that you're...
It's like, we're happy with your opinions, just whatever you do, don't say the law and tell us we're wankers, because, well, we don't want to do that to you, do we?
The phrase I said before, what was it? You're right to have your opinion, but don't try and force it down our throats because they'll bite your hand off.
Yeah, trust me, the Sonic community, they'll bite a lot of things off.